Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode on Databricks. Today we'll see how to store the credentials in Key Vault. When I say credentials, it is the database SQL database credentials. We will store it in a Key Vault and retrieve the secrets while establishing the connecting to the database. So for this demo, we will read the data from CSV file, create the Scala data frame, then push the data to Azure SQL database. We also see how to read the data from SQL database, then create the Scala data frame. And the last topic is write the existing delta table back into SQL table. So let's get started. For this demo, I have installed Databricks, then Azure SQL database, and also the Key Vault. So I'll be cleaning up all these services after my demo to save some money, right? So if you click on this Azure SQL database, this is the server name. And the only thing I need to give here is if you go to Firewall, you need to whitelist the IP address of your Databricks as well as the client IP address, that is your local mission IP address. So I opened SSMS from my local mission and tried the connectivity. I was able to connect the newly created Azure SQL database. I was able to connect because I whitelisted the IP address of my local mission inside the Azure SQL DB firewall. You'll see how to add the secrets, right? Username and password into our Azure Key Vault. So let's close this one and open the Key Vault. Inside the Key Vault, you can go to secrets and add the secrets here. I added two secrets, SQL username and password. So username is admin checkab. So you can see the value here. If you click here, show secret value, you can see the actual value. Similar way, I also added the password. So you have the password here. I created two versions. The old version I'm not using. It is the new version I'm going to use for connecting to SQL database. Now, how to use this Key Vault with Databricks? That is the next step, right? Now let's close this one. Open the My Databricks and launch workspace. So once the window is open up, you can type secrets / create scope. Right now this window will come up and here you can give your scope name, right? Then you have a DNS name and resource ID. So once you give the DNS name and resource ID, create the scope, you are ready to use the scope. But what is DNS name and resource ID? So for that we need to go back here to the portal and click on this key vault, go to the properties. So this is the DNS name, vault URI, and we also provide the resource ID. And this is the resource ID that we need to use. Just copy that and paste it here. And as I said, use this DNS name and paste it here. So you are basically establishing the connection between the Databricks and the Azure Key Vault. So you can give any name here. Scope something and hit on this create button, then your scope will get created, right? But for this demo I don't need to create again the scope. I done these steps and have my scope ready to use. So next step in our topic is read from CSV file. This is a very common activity that you normally do that, and I have given many examples in my previous videos, right? So we know that in the current data we have the columns with the spaces, but I don't want to have columns with the namespaces with the spaces. That's why I created the schema and removed all the space in between, right? But if you want to understand what exactly that, let's do one thing. Let me create the schema here. Df is equal to spark.read.csv and provide that. Where is that? This is the path. So let me copy this, come here, paste it here. This is Python, right? So this is how we can mix and match the languages, whatever the best for you. Now I can use Python or Scala or Spark SQL, right? So there is no restriction in that. So let's see this first. Okay, header equal to true. So you can see the word between multiple words, there's a space, right? So in order to avoid that space, I created custom schema and removed the space. That's it. There is no other thing I done it here, right? Let's execute and create the schema. So once your schema is ready, here is the main step where we will be establishing the connection to database. Then read the data frame and store the data into the SQL database. So let's look at this one. So first we need to import java.util.Properties. I'll let you know where exactly we are using. And this is the variable I declare for holding jdbcHostName, that is Databricks connectivity database.windows.net. So you may be thinking where you will get this host name, right? I can show you where exactly it is. So let's go to SQL and come to click on the server name and click on the connection string, right? Where is the connection string? Sorry, this is the database. So we need to click on the server. So here we have the connection string. Click on JDBC. So here you'll get all the required details. So db connectivity, dbricks connectivity database windows.net, right? Then port is 1433, database dbricksCon. User is admin check ap at Databricks connectivity. Password, we need to pull it from Key Vault. All right, let's go back. So we got the port number, jdbc database name, and here you go. We are going to create new object and initiating the properties that we imported here. Then this is the two place where we are hitting key vault and getting back the credentials that we are looking for. So here in this notebook, we are not storing the username and password. Rather, we are going to key vault using the scope we just created, passing this secret name, and on the fly we are storing the values in these variables, right? So now we have username and password. Now we have created these properties. Inside the properties, we are inserting these two properties, username and password, right, using put command. So we have user and password. Now next is the URL. This is the URL I just showed you in the SQL database connection string, right? So here you can see there is a curly bracket open and closed. Inside that we created the variable, because this is a variable, we are pulling the data from this variable, right? So we created the URL, and now next is driver class. We are showing that the driver class is SQL server jdbc SQL driver. This is the driver that we'll be using for connecting, right? Now my properties, we are setting that property driver property to this driver class, that this is the variable that we are using it. And now what we are doing, we are in this line, the 20th line, we are pulling the data from the file that we have already in the file store, then creating the data scala data frame. So our data frame is ready. Now we have to, we can do any transformation after. I'm not doing any transformation here, but once you have the data frame, you can do any regular transformation, and the final data frame you can write back into the table, right? So this is the line that will create the table in your database. This table need not be created in advance in SQL database. It will automatically create after executing this line. So let's execute this and see what's happening. Now I open SSMS and execute the table license. You can see all the data came in into this database, right? It's very simple. But keep in mind, if you have millions of records that you want to do directly from Databricks to SQL, the best method is first you need to convert that into files and use Azure Data Factory to copy the data from Azure Lake to the database. Because when we tried, it was performance wise, it is very bad. Now, what will happen if you execute the statement again, right? Let's see. So it says that table or view license already exists. For that, what we need to do is we have to import the save mode from spark.sql. Then here, this portion we need to add, where dataframe.write.mode within bracket save mode equal to append. Sorry, save mode dot append. And the remaining things are same. We are not changing anything. It's the same statement we added here plus the mode we added here. So what happened is, if the table is already there, then it will overwrite the data. Next we'll see how to read the data from the table, right? So we know that the license table is already in Azure SQL DB. Now you can provide one license uh, variable here, then spark.read.jdbc URL. This is the same URL that we are providing, like the jdbc URL, and the properties where we stored all the credentials, and this is the table, right? Once you execute this one, this will create the data frame here, scala data frame here. Now you can see the schema, the same schema that we have it in SQL table. So if you want to print schema, you can use this, and this is how you can display the data from the scala data frame. Next topic is read from existing Spark table and write it into SQL table in Azure SQL DB, right? So for this demo, I created a new folder and created the license folder again, and created the delta table in this path, right? So let's see what the data we have it in the table. It's the same data. So select start from license. So we have all the data here, and how the data I stored the same way, same by the schema I established for this Python. So here you can use percentage Python and created the schema. Then read the same data that we used before, and header is true, provide the same schema, created the Python data frame. Then write this data frame to delta table, like mode is equal to mode append dot format delta, and save this table as license. So we have this license table available in the Spark metadata. Now finally, what we did is we can use the same license data, that is from the Spark metadata, select star from license limit 100, and write mode is append, store that into license load. Execute this. The URL and my properties both are same. There is no difference. Only thing is, instead of file or the data frame, we are directly pulling the data from the delta table. Now let's go and check the data there. Okay, now I'm using SSMS. Let's execute this query and check the result. Now, if you look at the count, it is 100 rows, not the entire record, right? Now I'll go back and execute it again and see what's the result set, right? So this time I'm going to add another 10 or 13, and here it is append mode, so it should add 113 total. Let's execute it again. Yes, we got 113. So this is how you can transfer the data between Azure SQL DB to Databricks and Databricks to Azure SQL DB. So this is all I want to showcase today. And if you have any questions, please comment down. And thank you for watching this episode. Have a good day. Bye. If you would like to receive more such videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to connect with me, I have provided my details here, my email and LinkedIn. So thank you very much.